I had always known space was dangerous. Maybe that's why I became a cargo pilot, ferrying goods between the fringe colonies where laws were loose and life was cheap. My ship, the Odyssey's Call, was a battered freighter that smelled of burnt circuitry and old coffee, and I loved it. It was my home, my sanctuary, my escape from Earth and its suffocating rules. I wasn't expecting to meet her that day, not when I docked at the remote trading hub of Zithra Prime. The planet hung in the black void like a jewel, its surface a swirling mix of emerald forests and violet deserts, illuminated by two suns that danced across its jagged mountains. Zithra Prime was notorious for two things: illegal bioweapons labs and exotic alien fauna. And today, I was just looking for a quick trade, enough fuel to make it to the next system. Her first appearance was subtle, a shimmer in the docking bay shadows, a flicker of movement that seemed unreal. But when I saw her face, even from a distance, I knew she wasn't human. Her skin had a pearlescent sheen that reflected light in waves, like liquid moonlight. Her eyes were a deep violet, larger than a human's, and they glowed faintly. And when she moved toward me, it was with a grace that made my chest tighten in a way I hadn't felt in years. "Are you a lost?" I asked cautiously, gripping the handle of my sidearm. She tilted her head, a gesture that was both human and utterly alien. "No," she said in a voice like a song caught in a crystal breeze. "I am looking for you." I laughed nervously. "Well, I get that a lot, but usually it's not true." Her smile was unsettling, beautiful, but unsettling. "It is true," she said. "I am your bride." I froze. I'd heard stories of alien abductions, of humans being taken for experimentation, for survival, or for rituals. But this was something different. I looked at her, and for a fleeting moment, I wondered if I'd lost my mind. "Your bride?" I asked. "Yes," she replied, stepping closer. Her hand reached out to touch my arm, and the air around us seemed to shimmer. "By the laws of my people, you are bound to me now. You may not understand, but your fate is entwined with mine." I swallowed hard. "I think you might be misunderstanding something." She shook her head. "No. There is no misunderstanding. You were chosen, and now you must come with me." Before I could protest, a pulse of energy surged from her fingertips. It didn't hurt, but it made the world tilt, like gravity had changed direction for a fraction of a second. I found myself following her instinctively, as if my body remembered something my mind did not. We left the docking bay in silence. The corridors of Zithra Prime's hub were dim, the walls pulsing faintly as if alive. I noticed that she never walked. She glided, and the floor beneath her feet seemed to ripple like water. Other travelers and traders gave her wide berth, murmuring in a language I didn't recognize. Finally, we arrived at her ship, a vessel that looked alive, with flowing curves and surfaces that seemed to breathe. The entrance opened silently as we approached. She gestured for me to enter. Once inside, she finally spoke again. "You must know the truth. My people have watched you for many cycles. We need a human bonded to us, one who can survive what is coming." "What's coming?" I asked, my voice barely audible. Her expression darkened. "War. Between worlds. And you are the key." The hours that followed were a blur of explanations and revelations. Her name was Alara, and she belonged to a race called the Nitherians, a species that lived in a hidden dimension overlapping our own reality. Their survival depended on finding human partners who could navigate both the physical and quantum realms. According to her, I had been chosen because of my neural adaptability and resilience, traits rare in humans. As days passed aboard her ship, I learned more about her culture, their rituals, their technology, and their philosophy. The Nitharians existed in a state of constant energy flow, able to phase in and out of reality, to manipulate space and time. Elara taught me to synchronize my mind with hers, to feel her presence in every particle of the ship. And then came the ritual that bonded us. It was not like anything human marriage could ever be. The bonding required a mental and emotional merging, a sharing of consciousness that left me exposed in a way I had never been before. When our minds intertwined, I saw the memories of her race, their triumphs, their tragedies, and the looming threat that had brought her to seek me. I felt their fear, their hope, and a strange, aching longing that I couldn't explain. When the ritual ended, she looked at me with eyes that seemed to pierce through layers of reality. "We are bound," she whispered, "and yet you must run." I blinked. Run? Why? I thought we're bonded now. I thought. Because, she interrupted, her voice now trembling, the ones who hunt my people have found the trail. And soon, they will come for you, for both of us. I wanted to argue, to demand that she explain, to convince her that we could fight together. But before I could speak, the ship shuddered violently. Red warning lights flashed as Elara's ship shifted, phasing partially out of reality to escape a massive energy surge. "They are here," she said, her hands glowing faintly as she manipulated the ship's controls. "The Vorin, merciless hunters. They have detected our presence." I grabbed the nearest console, trying to stabilize the ship as the floor buckled under sudden acceleration. Outside, I could see the dark shapes of Vorin ships, their jagged forms slicing through the void like predator shadows. Elara's voice was calm, almost serene, despite the chaos. "You cannot fight them. You are not ready. But you must survive." "Survive how?" I shouted over the alarms. She stepped close, pressing her forehead to mine. I felt the strange warmth of her energy, the hum of her consciousness against my own. "You have something they do not," she whispered. "Human unpredictability. Your choices will matter when ours cannot. Run and live. Trust me." Before I could process, she phased out, leaving me alone in the cockpit. The Vorin ships were almost upon us. My fingers moved instinctively over the controls, trying to mimic what she had done, but I knew nothing would be enough. And then it happened. A flash of blinding light enveloped the Odyssey's call. The Vorin ships recoiled, their forms shimmering and bending in ways that defied physics. Elara's presence returned, not fully, but as a ripple across my mind. "Now," she commanded. "Go." The ship jerked violently, and I felt myself torn between realities. Then everything settled. I was alone. Zithra Prime's space station was fading behind me, distant and unreachable. And somewhere in the void, I knew she was out there, fighting in ways I couldn't see. The next few cycles were a blur. I navigated through hidden star lanes, avoiding Vorin patrols, relying on instincts I didn't know I had. Every time I closed my eyes, I felt Elara's presence, a whisper, a warmth, a memory, and I knew she was alive, still watching over me. Eventually, I reached a small colony on the fringe of known space. There, I took refuge, repairing my ship and gathering supplies, waiting for a sign, a signal, anything that would tell me she had survived. And in the dead of night, when the colony slept, I heard it, a soft vibration through the walls of my quarters, like a heartbeat that wasn't mine. I followed it to the edge of the settlement, where the stars seemed to shimmer differently. And there, just for a moment, I saw her reflection in the void, Elara, my alien bride, smiling at me. But then she faded, leaving a single message vibrating in my mind. "Run, but do not look back. The Vorin are patient, and they will not forgive." I took a deep breath, gripping the console of my ship. My life had changed irrevocably. I had bonded with an alien whose reality was unlike anything I could comprehend. I had glimpsed the infinite, and yet I had no choice but to survive. Because survival was the only way I could ever see her again. And as I launched into hyperspace, leaving the fringes of known space behind, I whispered into the void, hoping she could hear me across dimensions. I will find you, no matter what. For now, I was alone, but I was alive. And in the vast, cold expanse of the universe, that was everything.